Hello, everyone. Welcome to RRC 131. Yeah, 131. I'm Nemi.
And my name is Pindon.
We're gonna get into the action right here. We've got a Forsburn Ditto. We've got Sty versus Atmosqueer. And we're gonna get into it. Game 1 on Gates.
So Atmosqueer has recently switched to Forsburn after playing Palm for a while. While Sty has been a very long-term Forsburn player, so it'll be interesting to see how Atmos sort of fits in with Sty's playstyle.
I see. I am like very out of touch of the recess scene. So how does like Atmos usually play? How do they usually play?
Atmos, I mean, she's sort of starting with Forsburn recently, so she's still kind of new to using smoke and new to using clone, and that's a lot more reliant on the normals. But that is a very good combustion to start out a really strong first stock for Atmosqueer. And it's been really interesting to see. She was struggling to get results with Palm, and so recently switched to Forsburn. We can see that she's actually been putting a lot of work in, considering this lead that she has on Sty right away.
I do think, if you are just kind of like relying on a more buttons-based approach to your playstyle, Forsburn is one of the better characters to do that with. I mean, obviously, like, the best ones are, like, Zetter, Rano, Olympia, because their buttons are just so good, but nice little even up there from Sty. But Forsburn just has some of the best buttons in the game, that back air in particular.
And I know that she's been working on like trying to get used to these confirms and used to using cape in general, which I think from what I've seen so far, she's been doing very well with. And obviously doing really well with these aerials. She has a very strong aerial gameplay from her Palm experience, and I know that she used to play Ultimate as well. So she likes to pull on those experiences as well. Meanwhile, Sty, I think, is actually a Raster main, not a Raster, a Falco main. From either melee. I mean, let's be real. The beautiful bear right there. This match staying very close. Neither of them having a super strong lead.
There's the eye on the back air there. Good use of using the double jump recovery there, and Atmos is gonna get this edge guard started. And chasing, beautiful tech chase there. Just kind of following Sty around the stage. She's doing a great job. Fortunately, drops a string and gets punished for it. But, like, we saw how quick Sty was able to even up the first stock. But with a 100% deficit, that's definitely a lot more work to do.
And with all the smoke on stage, it gives a lot more movement. But Atmos very clearly trying to get rid of the smoke very quickly to reestablish a stage presence, and a single down smash will close it out.
Nice little tech chase. Well, it's not even really a tech chase, it's just a follow, because your opponent is going to just be trying to get away from you as fast as you can, so it's like, I'm in your head, I'm chasing you, down strong, you're holding out, you're going to die and not react in time.
Right.
In Game 2, we are going to Merchant Port.
This is interesting because I'm curious. Obviously, we're seeing a good amount of platform movement, but this is a stage with even more platforms, and yet this was Sty's counter pick, right? So it'll be interesting to see how Atmos is able to take advantage of these platforms that are very present in this stage.
Well, you said Atmos had the better plat movement right there, right? In the game 1. So it's like even though there's more platforms, you gotta take into consideration how they're laid out.
Right.
Like you have that more open center space. That's a lot more flat. You're gonna have to play neutral a lot more, but your opponent can drop down from those top plats. But even then, that's a lot more predictable than something like Gates. You have a lot more room to react since it is higher up. But nice backer can secure that first stop for Sty. And immediately get a stage full of smoke.
You can tell that Sty really is used to this character and really used to establishing stage presence, just sort of like as an auto move.
Good. Atmos is doing just a great job with these follow-ups and getting these down strongs. Right now they are just scrapping in neutral. Sty taking a bit of a percent lead, getting this edge guard. Unfortunately drops it from the near 2. trying to find this confirm, but unfortunately drops it yet again. There's not going to be enough stuff here that's not down strong will. Nice clipping it on the edge there.
We're already seeing a very strong lead from Sty right here. There's going to be a lot of deficit that Atmos now has to climb, but clearly with these aerial tech chases, she's not struggling.
Oh, we're going to see the soft back air into the downer. Unfortunately, it's not enough good drift from Sty.
Nice parry.
Down strong punish, it's not enough quite yet.
Very good DI.
Combust on deck, and it is going to be enough, even if the stock counts with only 22%. Fortunately, that lack of awareness on how to spread the smoke isn't quite there yet. So Sty just like immediately clears it, and also will punish it, building up that lead a little bit more, but automatically the Atmos has evened it back up.
It's really interesting. I don't think either of them have been using clone for much more than just an extra pop that they can have with this joint. Really just relying on it as sort of a moving hitbox rather than a way to confuse the opponent.
That's kind of something you just develop as your game sense improves, and like in an AME tourney, that is a place where you can develop those skills, but also you're going to be fighting people who may be keeping more of a track on it, may not be keeping more of a track on it. And so just kind of having it as essentially like a pre-sign pop that can track your opponent is pretty nice. You can get some stuff off of it, but for game 3, we're going to Tropopon. Atmos counterpick this time.
Counterpicks are always interesting in the Ditto. Where it's all entirely just about how they want to play with their playstyle and how they want to mess with their opponent. But honestly, both of them are playing kind of similar Forsburns at the moment, at least from my perspective. Just with one being more aerial-based and one being more ground-based. But kind of hard not to stay on the ground when once you get in the air, Atmos is just going to start tech chasing you for a really ridiculous percentage.
That was an Optron that would have been the most beautiful call out of this stream so far. Unfortunately, it wasn't. However, Sty still got the stock off of it, and he's gonna be holding out on the back, not quite ready enough to drift it. That the stocks are even yet again.
We might be seeing a game full of entirely bear confirms, and you know what? That's fine. on a stage like Truple, it's a really powerful move that can really control the space on these side flats that are already pretty close to the platform as they are.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't get the down air. Back here yet again. We are kind of seeing like some of the downsides of that more aerial-based play style. Well, you leave yourself a little more vulnerable, and if you are like always going to be trying to land with an aerial, we've seen it a few times, so Sty has been ready with the parry.
Right. And I think Sty is very much adapting to it, especially starting to keep all of the smoke lowered to the ground, knowing that Atmos is trying to stay in the more aerial, more in airspace. It does make it harder for it to actually control it.
I was trying to go for the call, thinking Sty was going to be on the left, but instead came from the right. However, still manages to get the stock, but looking a lot like a reversal of game 1.
We've seen a very nice aerial tech chase. If she can keep this up, maybe she could even this percent lead out.
Gonna be tricky, especially in this edge guard. Force's recovery when he doesn't have smoke is quite inexploitable, and great call out.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kill there by Sty.
Beautiful call out there.
We're seeing Sty take a slight lead in both in games and in focus on the specific games. Hopefully in this last match we can see Atmos try to fight back a little more and possibly taking this to a game 5 if she wins this one.
Yeah. Could be, but with the Spirit Tree counter pick, it's similar enough to Truple with those overhanging plats, but you are going to have to play that neutral a little more with that open center. Your approach also becomes a bit more linear if you are trying to approach with an aerial, because you have no top plat to drop down from, but then also You can really only just flat boost from the side.
Right. But these tech bases,
Think
these
it
very small blast zones.
Tried to use the clone for positioning there. Fortunately, it didn't quite work out. Nice high recovery. Unfortunately, gets punished with on the panic roll. We are going to see it back. It's not going to be quite enough just yet. Great drift awareness. A great tech, but unfortunately, the down strong rip just a little too early.
And the read on the dare, just relying on this aerial game plan, is becoming too readable and punishable for Sty, leaving Atmosqueer a big disadvantage.
We are seeing just that. Oh!
Oh!
That was almost horrible. Not going to lead to the greatest of punishes from Sty, but that was almost death. As SD in a Game 4 situation would be so crushing to the mental. Backer can come on out. Fortunately, I'm gonna whiff that down stroke. I see the thought process, but also didn't quite work out. However, that back air will certainly.
And Sty is really showing his control of the character by making these edge guards very strong, making sure that he's getting as much percentage as he can, making sure that the clone is being used to change up and make the recovery a lot more dangerous for Atmosqueer.
Now again, landing with that aerial, getting punished for it. Quick 30 or so % into the down air. Fortunately for Atmos, she is able to escape the string. Goes for the down strong chase. Tries to scare with the backer. Unfortunately, not fast enough.
A very good DI, trying her best to get back on stage.
That'll do it. Forced to recover high, and it was awkward.
Very strong adaptation for a very strong Game 4 from Sty.
That is going to be 3-1 into Sty's favor.
Sty moving on to, I believe,
Winners Finals.
Winners Finals.
Also up next we have Sly and the Concept of Death. We've got Crag versus Absa. Oh boy. I don't like this matchup. It's not fun.